The world of darkness is full of very varied and interesting beings. There are the kindred, the guru, changelings, what some might call demons, and New Orleans is seemingly home to many of these interesting, interesting individuals. There is a quote in Romans 8:19 which says, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." I would like everyone to keep that in mind for book 2. But for now, why don't we go ahead and dive into Blood on the Bayou. It is a very special night for the Coterie, and indeed quite a special night for the kindred in New Orleans. This evening, people find themselves gathered at Eclipse, a newly renovated bar which was purchased by Nikolai and designed in its interior by Elijah and some of the other Toreador members of the Coterie. The past 3 or so months have seen a lot of changes for our Coterie. Kenny Hartsmith has taken a leave of absence in order to pursue something, what answers he might be seeking and what internally he may be going through is mostly unknown to the Coterie. After the attacks or kidnappings of various kindred and other beings within New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole by the Sunrise Association, which seems to be, upon investigation, a Second Inquisition front led by the Society of Leopold. Our Coterie and many of the kindred have been on guard in different ways. However, they have been, as an organization, uncharacteristically quiet for a few weeks now. The growing thin blood-led army of sorts, led by Quinn's sire, a man by the name of Michael Morrison, which seems to be under the sway of the Sunrise Association, have seemingly vanished for the moment. But all of these concerns have taken a bit of a backseat as we join our Coterie at the location of A newly declared Elysium within the city, the Eclipse. Elijah, would you like to describe to us the structure and interior of this wonderful venue?
The Eclipse is a two-story building in downtown New Orleans, situated very close to a certain Tzimisce's hidey little dragon hole. The interior is opulent, to say the least. Black and white striped marble floors with gold accenting between them, covers all the floors. The main area is, how to describe this, has thin light fixtures with bulbs hanging from the ceiling. There are glass and gold doors that open from the bar area into a lounge area with green and gold and blue, navy blue and gold chairs and sofas decorated throughout the area. The walls have an Art Deco look to them in green and gold. Overall, he spent far too much time picking out things for this club.
It sounds beautiful and a fitting location for an Elysium in the city. Before we get into some of our coterie meetings, why don't we take care of just a little bit of housekeeping here? If I can have everyone please roll their rouse checks for this evening. All right.
Nikolai is good. And knowing his proclivities, probably also at hunger 0.
Sakura, as you are waking this evening and finding yourself stirring with the hunger, you hear a different voice inside your head than what you might usually from the beast. Let the hunger feed you, my child. Embrace the pain.
Way to start the night. All right. Let's go.
All right. As instructed by Prince Madeline in advance, the Coterie have prepared the area for guests to arrive. It is unlikely that mortals are going to be in attendance unless they are perhaps ghouls. The one of the requests that were given was that there be no music played this evening. Where do our coterie find themselves in the club?
So, Nikolai, actually, the one portion of Elysium and its interior that he got involved in is the security facet of it, since he knew it was going to be both a business and an Elysium for the kindred. So one of the things that's been constructed in the new building is there is a private back area with a nice private room. It is above. It actually hangs above the club, and it has a two-way mirror set up so that those in the room can overlook the club should they so desire, but no one else will actually be able to see in. And that is also from reinforced glass, so that standard gunshot bullet wouldn't be able to penetrate it. It would take a little bit more actual oomph for something to happen there. And the head of security, as well as kind of the manager of the club, is actually Elijah's ghoul, Grace, who handles escorting the kindred through the club to the private area when they arrive for functions such as Elysium. That way, the club can actually still be open and running for business, although obviously they would adhere to the prince's request of not having any music performing this evening. So there would just be mortals around drinking and socializing and things like that, which will provide for any kindred who come to Elysium this evening to potentially try to grab a meal as they leave for the evening. So Nikolai would probably, upon arriving, immediately beeline for the private area and simply set himself up, waiting for other figures of the city to arrive.
Just to clarify, are we already there, or are we heading on the way there? Just that changes.
I would imagine that you would already be there or be just arriving.
So I would say in that case, Sora, they will be leaning against the wall on the outside, and Sora looks very different from what you normally see them from book one. For one, their hoodie is down, revealing long, beautiful white lock curls that goes all the way down to their back. No do rag, no bandana, nothing covering their forehead in the slightest. They are wearing black eyeliner around their eyes that really emphasizes their golden eyes in between. It almost looks like a lion in comparison with we have the black eyeliner around them. They're wearing the hoodie that Elijah provides them. The hoodie is down, looks relatively nice, and they no longer have, as they call it, the garbage hoodie anymore. It's a nice, fancy hoodie that looks well over a few $100s in make. And it's buttoned down, and underneath it is a fishnet tank top that they wear, which reveals what people may not recognize, a relatively ripped physique. I'm not sure if that actually recently discovered or was that something that happened a long time ago. Who knows? Nevertheless, they look very well in shape. They have purple nail polish with black gloves, and one of their hands is in their pockets. They're leaning against the wall and they're looking at their phone. You just kind of hear a couple statements just going on, like a couple flashbacks of Camille saying, "You're no longer alone. We are now a clan, and this is my pup." And then when he's hearing those statements, he's looking at their phone of like, "What is she doing?" And so he has the phone and they have the phone in their hands, wondering if they should call or see what's going on. And they're just kind of like off into their own world in that aspect. But they look very different from what you normally see them in book one. A lot more confident as well. They don't have the hunched over like meek approach. They even though they're leaning up against the wall, there's definitely a bit more confidence in their pet.
And have you made your way to the private room?
I know they would have been stayed outside. They wasn't unless they
So
were
still-
this was
Still
Go ahead.
outside the club or
Mhm.
in the... Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Elijah.
Elijah's in the upstairs office, which he shares with Grace, laying on a far too small sofa for his very tall frame, with a pillow over his eyes, his white suit jacket thrown over a chair, empty martini glass on the ground, just taking a few minutes to compose himself. He's smoking his vape because Grace has forbidden cigarettes in her office, and is just relaxing.
And Sakura?
Sakura will come in through the private entrance, so people do not see her coming in the front because it is not the night to make a scene per se. And so she's not like sneaking in, but she also just doesn't want people to see her walking in the front. And she will make her way right to the bar and order her favorite drinks, the Pink Menace and the Child of Mine, of course, and just wait
Excellent.
for something to happen.
Excellent. Grace gives Elijah a bit of a tap on his shoulder and says, the cameras are showing that your friends have arrived, although it appears Mr. Sora is waiting outside for some reason.
He doesn't remove the pillow he's put over his eyes. Tell him to come in.
Will
I mean,
do.
so he's like trying to pat for wherever his phone is. Like he had been like just put it down somewhere and it slid. He just can't figure out where he did with it. And he's just like, yeah, tell them to come inside and just wait downstairs. I'm taking a few moments.
Oh, no, I get it. You're drunk. I mean, it's not like I'm not used to this.
Excuse me, there is one martini glass on the ground. One.
That I can see.
You told me if I was to drink in here, I had to put it in the bin. The bin is empty. There is one.
I know how fast you can move, Elijah. Anyway, I'm going to go fetch your friend.
Yes. Yes, you
All
you
right.
Is Kolya here?
Likely. I believe he is in the private room already.
Okay, I'll handle this. 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm setting a timer as she is walking out the door, and she comes down the stairs and passes Sakura at the bar. Miss Sakura, lovely as always. Elijah is currently in my office, and I do believe Nikolai is in the private room. I'm just going to go fetch your other friend who seems to be waiting outside for some reason.
Nice to see you as well, Grace. Let me know if I'm needed.
Will do. And she comes outside. And Sora, I am not sure if you've actually met Grace before, but Grace is aware of who the Coterie members are and who is expected to be earlier tonight. And Grace sort of comes outside and says, Mr. Sora, we haven't met officially yet. My name is Grace. I am an associate of Elijah, and all of your friends are inside already. Is this your first time coming in?
Is it? Most likely, yeah. This will be their first time. Yes, they're already here.
Yes, they are. Mr. Bissett. Mr. Bissett is upstairs, and I can show you where some of the others might be gathering for tonight.
And I think they look one long look at their phone just to see if they receive a text. And when they verify that nothing comes through the phone, they flip the phone a couple of times in their hands, put it in their back pocket, jab their fingers into their pockets. It says, "All right, lead the way."
Very good. And Grace leads you inside, and you actually do come right past the bar area where you see Sakura, which you have seen her on and off, but you've been mostly busy for the past couple of months.
Sakura, how's everything?
Good. Everything's going good. I got the house set up and Ricky's okay. He's still sleeping, unfortunately.
I kind of assumed that would have been the case. There's nothing. Did you look up or find anything about waking him by chance?
It's just time. It's the only thing we can really do. But we have lots of it as long as we don't get ourselves killed. So I'm not that worried. Just impatient.
That's true. I guess we have a lot of time to work with. That's for sure. Where's the rest? They said the rest is upstairs.
I think they're upstairs. I don't know. I just got here.
Hmm.
She eats the cotton candy from her drink instead of putting it in like you're supposed to.
Sora would not know. The last thing they would know is alcoholic beverages. So they will look over and says, "All right, well, I guess lead the way." Elysium is not really my thing.
You haven't been to the club before, have you?
No, normally I'm not allowed access to it.
Check the menu, and she'll go upstairs.
And they will take a look at the menu, see all of the names that's listed there, and there's definitely a gentle smile that like spreads across their cheeks that kind of reveals 2 large dimples on the side. And they look and they're like, "Wait, so Ricky gets a non-alcoholic one, but I don't drink. What is this? Who created this beverage? I have to talk to them about this." And they'll slide the video away.
Can you drink at all?
Oh yes. Well, you would not be aware
Oh yeah,
of
that's
this
right.
because
We have eaten before. That's right.
no, I cannot eat, but I can drink because of my humanity level.
I vaguely remember beignets, but that might have been the.
Oh yes,
So,
I used the
okay.
the what's it called?
Animalism? Feral whispers?
No, the ability to be able to eat and drink for a certain period of time.
Blush of life.
Blush alive, yes.
Yeah.
Humanity 8 allows me some good benefits. Sleep being in all the right places.
I recommend all of them. I've tried all of them.
I would trust your word on it. Wait, which one? So Ricky gets the non-alcoholic one, right?
Yep.
And they'll look over to the barkeep and says, "Can I try that one real quick, just to see what it tastes like?"
The barkeep happily mixes you up the drink and passes it to you. Enjoy, sir.
Thank you. They'll look at it, try to think they'll sniff it first just to make sure there's no alcohol inside, because they're just once they can verify there's no alcoholic inside of it, they'll take a drink. It's like, oh, well, this is pretty good. Can you put both of our names with this beverage? I mean, I like this one. I want to drink this one more. Can you make this the Ricky and Sora special?
You can order the
buddy
Ricky
cop?
one. I have a Ricky one. You can order the Ricky one, and it not be yours.
I see my name there. I'm like, well, I feel like I should drink my own beverage, but then I look at the alcohol that's there. I was like, well, how about it be like, like a buddy cop, like Lethal Weapon, Ricky and Sora,
Just ask them to make it without alcohol.
You could do that?
Yes.
I don't go to bars. I don't know you can make drinks with alcoholic. Okay.
And if they don't, it's Elijah's. You can make them.
Oh, that's true. Let me talk to Elijah, see if they could give me a non-alcoholic version. Just to see. I have to give myself some props for being able to drink my own drink, but the alcohol scares me. And they'll take a narrow eye look at all of the the alcoholic beverages on the side, just like.
Sakura will take her pink menace to go upstairs.
Oh yeah. And they'll head upstairs.
Excellent. As Sakura and Sora make their way upstairs, you see that Nikolai is already in the aforementioned private area.
Which is honestly even more opulent than the club itself, because Elijah was also allowed to decorate inside there, because Nikolai doesn't have decoration sense. He just handled the security facet of everything.
Speaking of that, how is the security inside of this location?
So Grace has access to a full security team. So it's setup of a pretty impressive ghoul who heads the actual security team and also works as the club's manager, and then a number of just general mortal security that the ghoul has selected as the security team. Um, the ghoul, however, is actually armed at all times, so Grace actually does carry a weapon on her. The rest of the security team is not carrying lethal weapons on them necessarily.
Mm. I think what would be if anyone were to pay attention, what would be a very different ordeal is Sora is essentially attempting to clock every single security guard, the exits and security parameters that's around, almost like remembering a mental map of the people as well as the exits around, which is very different from their normal behavior. But and they will walk all across. Mm. Mm. So when is this supposed to start?
How early did we actually come to the location here, storyteller?
You had all decided to arrive before everyone else was due to arrive so that you could make sure that everything was in order.
Probably a midnight arrival for the rest of the kindred of the city, making sure that they have all their time and space to prep themselves before heading to court for the evening. I imagine Nikolai probably would have gotten there himself a good 2 hours early. So at this point, what, probably about an hour out? Like, when do you think Sora would have shown up, Kira?
Yeah, probably about like an hour out because
Okay.
they didn't know that they were there to be preparation. They were just kind of showing up because of the request of Elysium. So yeah.
About an hour from now, Sora.
Oh, it's early. What are we supposed to do for this?
Make
Go
yourself
argue with the
comfortable.
bartender. Go argue with the bartender. You wanted to do that. Do that now.
Really? Okay, I was not going to argue per se. I just want to see if I could be able to amend the Ricky beverage into something like a hybrid of sorts, a take two to tango type ordeal. So see if maybe we could work.
You're
I
about
have
to
my
ask them to make it non-alcoholic. You're about to argue with the bartender, friend.
oh wait, why?
Elijah walks into the room and goes, "Do not argue with my staff. Do not change the menu." And puts his martini glass on the counter.
This is why I don't go to bars. This is crazy. I'm like this. You can't even have. You just told me you can have a non-alcoholic beverage version, and now you're saying that there's not a
Yeah.
possible.
You can make it non-alcoholic. You can't change the name of anything on the menu.
Oh, that was
And
just
not-
an idea.
Not all the bartenders are going to be happy. The
Do you know
substitutions are weird.
how long it took me to make that menu?
Oh, you made this?
Yes. Do you not?
Well,
Are you
thank you.
criticizing my choices?
See, this is what I'm just saying that I am not really the alcoholic type. Maybe put like a like a little calm, cool version underneath it with no booze underneath it.
So you're
something
asking for a kitty menu.
why you gotta put it that way for? I mean, just
It's not
because
wrong. It's not wrong to say.
While
what's
they're
is this
conversing,
McDonald's? I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Nikolai is going to stand up from his seat and kind of fold his hands behind his back and just walk over to the two-way mirror and just start observing the club.
Very good. As the conversation continues amongst the coterie and Nikolai is observing the club, Nikolai, go ahead and make a wits and awareness roll for me, please.
Absolutely. That should be fun. 3 successes.
Excellent. 3 successes. You notice a few things. There are some mortals which seem to be enjoying themselves and deep in their drinks and their conversations as such, and something else which does catch your eye is that there appears to be a small amount of a small amount of other people which are beginning to enter into the location. Some people you recognize from previous encounters. Some people you are unaware of who they are. But over the course of the next, let's say, 45 minutes or so, those that you do recognize, you recognize the Bruja by the name of Aaron Carter, who you are aware of as being associated with Kenny in some fashion. Another face that you recognize as well is a woman with a sort of shoulder length kind of brown hair, very beautiful, dressed in a sort of, I want to say, neo flapper kind of outfit, exceptionally elegant. She actually has on a pair of long white gloves and a very long, one of those very long things with a cigarette on. Someone at the door attempts to ask her for a second to kindly put out her cigarette, but Grace quickly intervenes and tells them to leave her alone. This is Ellie McGowan, who you know by reputation as a bit of a fortune teller and a seer of Clan Malkavian. And a couple of other people enter into it. And just a question for clarification. The back entrance, does it lead directly into the private area?
It leads into the hallway that houses the private area. Yes.
All right. And is the gathering of the kindred intended to be just in the private area?
They are granted permission to conduct any hunting that they might want to do this evening within the club proper. However, the actual court itself is intended to be kept just within the confines of the private room. From the outside, it just has that kind of back alley entrance. And then inside, to get into that hallway, you have to go through an employees only door that security generally tends to guard, and Grace kind of just ushers special exceptions via the kindred through. That way, various kindred who can't necessarily mingle through the club can make that back entrance approach. The others can come in through the front way. And then once inside the Elysium proper, friends of like Clan Nosferatu don't have to be nervous about trying to uphold any special appearances once they're in there.
Excellent. And one of the more notable figures that you do see come into the club is noticeable in that they look just so exceptionally plain and out of place. They look like I want to say, almost like just a very average librarian, but quite portly, just as if they do nothing. But it's noticeable to you that this person is just so normal looking. And you are expecting some people here. So you might deduce that this could be, at least judging by his size, that this might be Peaches. And as all of you are busy talking and having a look at the floor and such, you hear the door that comes in through the back entrance into the private area open. And unannounced, but already here, our prince enters in.
Well, well.
Good evening, Your Highness.
Good evening.
Sakura will give a little curtsy.
Oh,
Mitsumi?
we're all there. This is my first time seeing her this close, I think.
Yes. This very close? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think they're anarch. I think they would say they would nod. A smile. Hello,
You are?
Sora.
Ah, I've heard of you.
Oh, really?
Mr. Smith.
Your Majesty, a pleasure. He gives a little bow because it's never been clarified if bowing is the thing he should do or not. So he's just like erring on caution.
Honestly, Madeline normally just doesn't care, but she appreciates the reverence from everybody that she's just taking it.
Like, yes.
So I take it that Mr. Dietrich and Mr. Smith are the ones in charge of said place, am I correct?
Nikolai simply nods from his place by the two-way mirror.
Technically, it's all him. I'm just a interior decorator at this point.
I see. Well, would you technically like to show me around this place?
Of course. And Nikolai will go ahead and approach Prince Madeline, and he will, after taking a brief moment to point out that this room will serve as the court for the actual Elysium. He will then offer his arm to the prince to take her on a tour through the remainder of the club, showing her around to the bar and the dance floor area that's been set up.
This is quite a fitting place you have here. Is there anything that doesn't meet the eye, though?
Nothing in particular, no.
I see.
Security measures, of course, within the main club here, and he'll point out a few cameras and such around the area. And also our security staff, who have been instructed with it being a more upscale club and everybody typically being dressed up a little bit nicer. They also just wear suits so that they kind of slightly blend in to the environment. So he actually points out where each of the members of the security team that are working tonight are presently positioned. And then he will specifically take a moment to take Madeline over to Grace and formally introduce them. Your Majesty, this is the head of our security and one of Mr. Smith's personal associates.
I see. It's a pleasure. It's like I've already known you.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you, ma'am. thank you for the wonderful contact which your own staff had given me in making sure my own preparations were hopefully up to snuff for this evening.
Oh, they are certainly up to snuff. Congratulations.
Thank you. I take that as high praise.
Mhm.
I think I tend to do, and Grace will look at Elijah, quite a lot of work here, and I take pride in it.
Oh, a lot of work. Do tell. What kind of work do you do?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, accounting, security, organization, lots of organization, occasional mishaps that might occur. I like to make sure that they're taken care of expediently.
I see. And how many mishaps would you say happen on the regular?
Luckily, as we haven't been open for that long, none yet.
So you're just foretelling the future, essentially.
Again, she looks at Elijah just briefly. Just a precaution.
Wonderful. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Grace. I'm sure we'll meet again.
Thank you. Would everyone go ahead and make a Woodson awareness roll for me, please? I will also let you, if you would prefer, to make it a wits and I believe it's politics. I need to double check the character sheet.
Whole whopping 2. Grace has definitely
Yes.
scared him into putting the vape away.
Yeah, I will let you choose wits and politics if anyone would prefer that.
Oh, no. I'll pick up with awareness, that's for sure. All right, we're started off strong. 5 successes.
All right.
Just
5
another
as well?
3 on my end.
1.
1. All right. Sakura, you are aware of your surroundings, and as is Elijah with the 2, but there aren't too many extras that you know around here. However, for Nikolai and Sora and Prince Madeline, you do notice that a number of those who are meant to be here tonight are assembled. Madeline, it's not a shock to you as you had come in with them, but you know that there is the figure of Gerard Baxter, who is the sheriff, also of Clan Zamisi, and he is a rather tall gentleman, which has sort of longish black hair, but has a sort of shaved to the side of his head, and he is wearing what appears to be a very well-designed almost trench coat style, black trench coat kind of design, but it is also not at the same time. It is more like a couture kind of piece than a normal trench coat. But you are obviously expecting him to be here. You the 3 of you would also make out the form of Elise Guthrie, who is dressed in her classic, understated yet fashionable black evening gown, and she, as always, has a bit of a porcelain mask over one part of her face. Her hair is done up in a very nice sort of bun, and she has 2 pieces through it, which are, judging from what you might know of her, probably quite antique and very she looks like it's slightly traditional Japanese in a sense, but also still modern and at the same time understated. It's an odd combination that she manages to pull off. The other people that you would notice in this area, again, you would see Ellie McGowan, and you would pick out Aaron Carter. Sora, you are maybe more familiar with Aaron, as Camille is sort of on very good terms with him. You would pick out the form of Aaron Carter. He is sort of, unlike many of Clan Leatherjacket, not a leather jacket wearing Bruja. He is dressed in a fairly nice looking gray suit with a sort of light blue shirt underneath. It looks as if he was older when he was turned, perhaps in his late 40s, but he's definitely got a bit of a silver fox kind of slightly businessman feel about him. But generally very attractive. Something that all of you pick out, except Sakura, because you are kind of focused on the conversation with Madeline and the tour and such like it. But even Elijah, you would pick this out, that in one of the corners of the downstairs club, there are two figures which, for the male gentleman, he is dressed in a white and teal colored suit, very fashionable, absolutely beautiful. He is fairly tall, wide shoulders, and he has a very well kept beard and sort of curly-ish brown hair. And next to him is a woman who appears to be of Nordic descent, and that she has very classic sort of Swedish distinguishing figures, very platinum blonde hair, and she is wearing a very lovely white evening gown that is cinched to one side, and she also the sort of belt that she is wearing around her waist is also this teal color. The thing that stands out the most to all of you is that, at least for those of you with to all of you, is that this man, it's almost as if it's not glowing. His skin is not glowing. It's definitely not. But you could almost swear it is. He is, without even trying, the most beautiful man in this room. This is not an effect of awe that anyone is feeling, that everyone is accustomed to, but he is definitely the most beautiful man in the room. Madeline, you know this to be Matthias Larson and his companion, Anita. Elijah, you are aware that Matthias has, you have met him once before at an Elysium, and you know that he has been in town for a while now. But these would be the people that you see around you.
Well, then I should allow all of you to go ahead and mingle. Miss Ami, can I have a word with you?
Of course, my prince. I have a few things to discuss with you as well.
That would be lovely. Is there a private, more secluded area that we could go to?
Yeah, we have private rooms back there. Green door.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh.
I'll walk with Sakura back there.
Entering into the private rooms, you can see that they are similarly decored, but the couches are a lot more intimate in a way.
Real quick before I enter, I'm gonna go ahead and use Sense the Unseen.
Excellent. All right, so go ahead and roll that for me, please.
It's a lot of dice. Sorry, y'all.
I mean, 5 successes. Excellent. With those 5 successes, Madeline, you actually do notice that relatively close to you and sort of walking slowly towards you is a, not slowly as in stalking, but walking comfortably towards you is the outline of a slightly above average height woman, and what you see is not the effect of obfuscation or anything like that, but the colors that seem to emanate off of this woman are slightly rainbow in hue and also very electric in hue. And they are walking slowly up to you, and you feel an arm sort of encircled around yours and a light kiss on your cheek. And she says, "Hello, darling. I didn't want to appear in front of so many people." And only you are hearing this at the moment, by the way. You recognize this voice as the voice of your colleague from San Jose, the mage who is known as Clytemnestra.
So I nod to acknowledge presence, but I actually don't say anything. I just kind of roll my shoulder and turn to Sakura.
To your eyesight, you see a little wave of the hand, and she's pointing to the private room upstairs, indicating that she's going to be waiting up there.
And another kind of like nod of acknowledgement.
Excellent. Other than that, it seems as if and indeed the dictates of Elysium are being maintained. You do not see any obfuscated Nosferatu around. With the role that you made, they would have to be very good at what they do.
Well, now that we're alone, how's your garden going?
It's going lovely. I have the cottage built. I have all the rooms ready. I have a few people staying there currently. The flowers are blooming wonderfully. I'd love to show you sometime.
I would be honored to see it.
I have a feeling my garden isn't why you asked to speak with me in private.
Oh, no, I just wanted to get in touch with my so-called harpy. I mean, you know that it's not typically a recognized station here, but it is a bit of a special place for me. And you know that one of the things about a harpy is that you will have to introduce me at court.
I apologize for going under your nose for such efforts, but as it is usually an unrecognized position, I thought it would be more effective to show you I'm capable than ask.
Fair enough, fair enough. Would you be okay with speaking, at least introducing little old me?
Absolutely. I would be honored to introduce you. Never.
Oh, good. I did have, you said you had questions for me.
I did. There was something I would like to discuss with you. During the events of my initiation, it has to do with my child, Ricky. He's very special child. Although a lot of people might not think that if they saw some of the things that you saw during my initiation. And I'd like to ask that you keep the secret. I know it's a lot to ask of you, which is why I wanted to show you my willingness to aid you as attempting to go for the harpy position, to show you how helpful my assistance can be before asking you to keep such secret.
Duly noted. I will take that under advisement. However, I will offer you this instead. I will keep your little secret, but you're going to do something for me.
Without a
See.
doubt.
As a Bahari, we don't necessarily, how do I put this, view Childer as strong. So I'll give you until the next Elysium to figure out how you're going to deal with Ricky. Do you understand what I mean by deal with Ricky?
I do. The way I was going to go about it is very different than the way you are implying, I would assume.
Do enlighten me. How are you going to plan on dealing with him?
Well, currently he's in torpor. So I was going to let him wake up first. And then I was going to raise him and teach him the things he needs to know to be safe in these things.
You are going to raise your childer. Interesting. I'm very curious what mother would say about such things.
Well, she did say she did find him beautiful.
Oh, yes, but she didn't say that it wasn't a sign of weakness.
Many things can be considered a sign of weakness if you allow them to be viewed as such. I wouldn't consider caring to be a weakness of mine.
Let me rephrase that. I view it as such.
I would have thought caring a honorable quality. Ever.
Caring is certainly an honorable quality, but not a quality that kindred typically hold dear to their unbeating heart.
I am very unique.
That you are, my dear, and that is why I've taken you under my tutelage. But let's be clear, my deal still remains. I will keep your secret, but you will deal with your childer.
Is there any way you would prefer to go about such?
I'll allow you to have the creativity to do as such.
And just so we're on the same page, what exactly do you expect the end result to be?
Again, I will let you do the research on our kind of people, and you might be fascinated with some of our stories, perhaps like my own.
I should remember that I don't wish to harm my child.
I'm sorry, can you say that just one more time? I was just a little bit distracted.
Yes, I'd hate to hurt my child. He is everything to me.
I see. He's everything to you. What does Bahari mean to you then?
Bahari is very important to me. Something I've come to hold dear, but it is also a means to help keep my interests safe, secure.
Well, come the next Elysium, I am going to visit your new garden, and I'm going to see if you uphold your bargain. If not, then we may have to take a trip, perhaps, to go see Mother.
Is there any alternative you would accept?
No.
And I take it my original plan would not be satisfactory.
Your original what? I'm sorry?
My original plan to take care of Ricky would not be satisfactory to you.
It's not that it's satisfactory to me, but it's going to be satisfactory to Mother. Because in the end, you're the one who's disappointing her.
I would have thought helping to harness his beauty as she sees it would be most pleasing. To help embrace isn't the correct word, but to help show him the way.
If that's what you think shows strength, we'll have Mother decide on that at the next Elysium.
And for all I know, when he wakes up, he may wish to leave of his own accord.
He wishes to leave. That's adorable.
I cannot begin to imagine that I have the right to speak for him, especially with him being in torpor.
Well, again, I will let Mother decide.
Thank you. I appreciate your generosity and flexibility in such requests.
Oh, don't thank me yet. He hasn't made it through this. Which brings me to another point. Do you remember Francois?
I don't believe the name is familiar to me.
It's a little on the frisky side, you know, a little changeling a bit.
Was that one of the satyrs, I believe?
Yes. 100%. That's him. How do I say this? How do I say this without coming across mean or anything? Don't ever really mention that their illusions aren't real. They get a little touchy.
Understood. I don't have much experience the way of satyrs and their siblings.
Just a point of reference so you know for next time whenever you encounter these changeling, dreaming children, just pretend that it's all magical and I don't know what these kids call it, fairy dust, excitement. It hurts their feelings when we tell them that it's not real.
I usually say so with a technical standpoint, never meaning offense.
Right, they don't really, how do I explain this? They don't understand our kindred logic. They just understand theirs.
Understood.
Anywho, I will leave you some time to prep since you have to introduce me to court.
Thank you. I will begin preparations immediately.
And don't forget our little bargain. And I just walk out.
Don't think I could if I tried. And she won't stay in the room processing.
Excellent. As Prince Madeline exits the private room and Sakura is taking a moment to think of all the events that have just taken place and to potentially try and make some plans of her own. You all potentially have been mingling during this time, and you know that the official time for the gathering is almost at hand. Is there anything that you would like to do before that? Notably, Prince Madeline, is there anything more you would like to do before the official gathering?
I am going to mingle and actually kind of talk to each of the Primogen that I'm going to be announcing and have them kind of be in an area so that when I call them forward, they're not in like awkwardly trying to push people around and get out of the way. I would also like to activate the thing that we talked about previously and the reason why no music is on.
Excellent, excellent. I will give you some details in a bit of a private conversation there in a moment. And how about the rest of everyone, as Prince Madeline is attending to the other Primogen and getting some information and pleasantries and all such? Is there anything anyone else would like to attend to?
So, would Sora notice that they're the only Anarch in the room so far?
Yes, with your keen wits and awareness roll from earlier, you have definitely noticed that it is notable that there do not seem to be any Anarch faces present here tonight.
I think at that notion, they would be curious as to what's truly happening. So I think they would send a text to Camille asking why are there no Anarchs at the Elysium? Or not really at like that's the general message. Of course, they would code it a bit differently. Maybe like why are there no A in the E or something like that. Just... well, no. Abraxas is on their phone. One of the most legendary AIs known to man. So I'm pretty sure they can be able to keep their communication locked. So I think they will say to their phone like, "Yeah, Abraxas, I need you to send this message to Camille. Top secret."
Yes, Mr. Sora.
Thank you.
It's not that I don't have other things to do, of course, but you know.
This is of grave importance, I promise. Something's very fishy going on.
I am absolutely sure it is life or death situation, Mr. Sora.
Well, see, your life or death was kind of confusing. You didn't even know we were life or death when Michaela got shot. So we have to work with that a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's okay. It's okay. We'll work with that a bit. So here's a message. Essentially, they just have the message of why are there no Anarchs in Elysium, and have Abraxas send it to me.
It takes a little bit of time, but you do receive a reply back that says, "We're busy."
They will send a message back saying, "Should I join?"
You receive another message. It says, "Not yet, but tomorrow night." Not too much to worry about, potentially.
Their eyebrows furrow just a bit because they've noticed Camille likes to downplay a lot of things. Well, she was like, "Oh, it's not really that big of a deal." It's usually, "Oh my God, hell on earth!" So they're just looking at their phone. Their eyes furrow a bit at the phone, and then they'll slide it to their back pocket.
Excellent. Anyone else?
Elijah's gotten another drink and bullied Sora into getting a picture because he's going to send it to his sister to just show her how the hoodie like falls and everything nicely. Just kind of like, no, just stand right there. I'm just going to send it to her to see if maybe she wants to modify it or make you another one. Just
Tell her I said thank you. It fits
I
the
will.
frame nicely.
I know, right? She designed this off a photo of you. Hold on. Click.
How did she see me? I had my previous hoodie was like extra, 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 extra large, like FUBU from the '90s. You know, so it's
I've
it's
I've I've stopped asking how she does the things that she does. Like,
Mm,
I just go see her. He's like sending it off and texting at the same time.
mm. She's really good. But thank you. Yeah. Where she lives at, by the way?
Dallas.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I drive and see her every once in a while. Not doing that again, because the last time my other sister was in town and it was chaos because Beatrice doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut on things and is chaos.
wait. There sounds like there's more to this BTI. What do you mean by keep the mouth shut?
Never you mind.
You can tell me. I mean, I already told you my biggest secret.
You want to know my biggest secret?
Sure. Is this your biggest secret? Is that what they revealed? Your biggest secret? That's
No, my
oh,
sisters are unfortunately well, Beatrice is demanding, and there is no way in heck I'm giving her a plot of land and any cattle.
she wants land?
No,
Why?
she's not going to get it. She just desires it right now in this time and space because she thinks Montana is going to be beautiful for photos. I told her that the last time she even remotely did anything outside, it was a phone call to get her back to New York City because she was crying in a van outside of Pittsburgh.
She doesn't like country.
No, it's amazing. She thinks she wants
Oh.
to live in Montana. No.
Yeah, we need to work on that. That's going to be a culture shock of the century, and I mean that's saying a lot because we're kindred.
You know, it's a whole thing. Anyhow, yeah, she lives in Dallas. You know, it's a thing. I'm gonna go get me a drink.
Wait, they'll look over how many drinks have they had so far. Well, how many beverages has been around Elijah's area of their decor per se.
This
Very good question.
would be his second of the night.
So Sora would like to step forward and slowly grab Elijah's hand if Elijah will allow it.
What? Oh, do not do the thing here. Do not do the thing
No,
here.
no, it's not that. No, especially not here. Who knows how many eyes is looking here? But
There's like 10 Nosferatu probably in here. I'm
exactly.
pretty
I'm
sure I
like,
could move a chair and hit one.
right? I was like,
What?
but so I've been doing some studying. You know, I follow the path of Wakanda, right?
I
Did I
don't know
tell
what
you?
that is, but yes,
Well,
I'm guessing.
I realize that I need to do a better job of having you all embrace your humanity. I am still trying to figure out how that works, but I think the first thing we can work on, maybe, is less alcohol. Would that help?
Sora, if I don't have alcohol, I'm going to go kill somebody.
Oh no, it should be fine. You have
No.
me with you. Yeah, I can keep you
No.
nice and calm. Like Wusa, like Martin Lawrence, just rub behind the ears and you're good to go.
Oh
That's all you
yeah.
need. That's all you need.
Oh yeah,
Bad boys for
I'm not.
life.
That's not how this works.
No.
Look here, I'm going to smoke or I'm going to drink or I'm going to spend my time getting the sheriff pissed off at me in Elysium. And this club is new and I am getting a drink.
Wait, okay. How about just can we try to reduce your beverage intake by a third? Can we work with that?
Sure.
Thank you.
And as this conversation has finished, people are slowly beginning to make their way into the private area one by one until you are all gathered. Have you set up something special for Madeline? Or is the private area just arranged as normal?
I would say it's arranged as normal.
Okay.
Nikolai doesn't view Madeline's presence actually as a special event because he views this as the area forecourt, and as such, Madeline will generally be there. So it is, in theory, always in a state for Madeline to be present.
Understood. All right. Slowly but surely, you'll begin to filter your way in, and once you're all inside, you actually notice that there is a person there that you had not seen downstairs before. She is quite beautiful, slightly above average height, and her hair is an auburn-ish sort of color, very long, but there are also flashes of green and orange that are occasionally in her hair, but it seems to be only when she turns and the light hits it in a particular way. Her eyes are a very interesting combination of hazel, but again, when the light hits them in a certain way, you can almost see for a brief instant slight rainbows that cascade across her eyes on occasion. Now, Madeline, you know this to be Clytemnestra. She gives a wave. The sheriff and the keeper have also arrived, and slowly but surely, all of the newly to be appointed Primogen are arriving into the room and taking seats as refreshments are arriving.
Nikolai will go ahead and position himself with the other Primogen.
Yes. There are a scattering of other kindred, 2 or 3 more that perhaps you have encountered before, but they are not on the list of Primogen as far as you know.
Sakura will do her best to maintain her composure and stand by the keeper and sheriff.
Elise actually nods her head to you, Sakura, and she says, "Have you had any ill effects after your journey?"
None that you would be referring to, only the normal kind.
Do let me know if anything strange occurs with you.
Your assistance was greatly appreciated. I don't think I've had the opportunity to thank you.
Taking the lives of some innocents is never a small matter. I do not require your thanks.
But the one we saved isn't available to thank you himself at the moment. So I will pass on mine and hope that suffices for the time being.
Very good.
To just position herself with the keeper in hand for the time being.
Sakurami, as the harpy, not harper, similar but different, as the harpy of the court here, it is your honor to introduce and essentially kick off the evening here.
Once everyone is in the room, she will wait to make sure everyone who's meant to be there is there, and be sure that the door is secured before taking up a position in the not center of the room, but enough to where she knows everyone can see her. And she will address the room. Kindred of New Orleans, it is a pleasure to see you all assembled here tonight. I have the unique honor of introducing our prince tonight. If you do not know who I am Sakura Ami. I'm sure this coming night you will become more accustomed to who I am if you are unaware. But I am not who you're here to see tonight, and who you're here to speak with. So I shall, without further ado, introduce Prince Madeline.
And honestly, just like that, like she is on point, like on center, like as if she never missed a mark a day of her life of filming a movie. Like she just like turns on the stardom. Thank you, Miss Ami.
Sorry,
go ahead.
The keeper and the sheriff take a position to your right and to your left in a triangular formation a few feet behind you.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Ami. That is quite the introduction. I'm truly appreciative of you introducing me. Kindreds of New Orleans, how are you all? I hope that you are enjoying your evening here. I understand that there may be a little bit of friction in terms of a sunrise sort of situation, but do realize that it is going to be taken care of. I promise you that. But tonight is not about business per se. I would like to do some introductions of some new primogen that I am honored to introduce to you all to take on leadership. As we already know, Peaches is our primogen for Clan Nosferatu. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Peaches is, now that you are in the private room, in his usual very white colored suit, in his beach ball shaped self, his very orange skin and bat-like ears, and he says, "Oh, well now, thank you very much, ma'am. It is always a pleasure to serve on your court now."
Oh, you're so kind and wonderful, Peaches. Oh, you actually see her like kind of like to his presence, but like it's just very slight.
That's fair.
Yeah. Next, I would like to bring your attention to your new Clan Bruja primogen, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Prince Madeline. It is, as always, a pleasure to serve on your court. And I know that this is an unusual position for one of the Bruja to inhabit, but I shall, as always, do my best.
That's wonderful. You know, as long as I am known as courageous, so will you. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Dietrich, going to be Clan Zemisi's primogen.
It is a distinct honor and privilege to serve on your court, Prince Madeline. I look forward to ushering in a new future where Clan Zemise and the Camarilla can join in lockstep.
That sounds like a wonderful plan. As I am known as Wayward, so it shall be for you. Yes, I would love to call forward Miss McGowan. She will serve as your Clan Malkavian primogen.
As Michaela would be in attendance, but she's not here, Ellie would actually wave at Michaela, who is in the room canonically, but not here in person. And Ellie says, I think it's going to be delightful to be taking part in this court. And if any of you all have a fancy a drink, please come down to Ellie's as well. I know this is a wonderful establishment, but I dabble in certain other areas of expertise which you might find useful as well. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Ellie. As I am known as crafty, so will you. Ah, yes, it brings me to Clan Tremere. If oh gosh, I hope I don't say this incorrectly. Miss Malquena? Yeah.
And you all see that there is a very smartly dressed, almost in sort of a power business suit with a skirt, all in gray, and she has a very professional white-looking blouse underneath, and there are sort of like slightly, ever so slightly pointed shoulder pads as well, and her hair is braided very nicely into a sort of bun at the top of her head. She says, "Thank you, Prince Madeline. It is a pleasure to be here, and it will be a pleasure for Clan Tremere to serve your court."
The pleasure will be all mine to be working with you, and as I am known as noble, so shall you. And last but certainly not the least, I would like to bring Mr. Larson forward, as he will be serving as Clan Toreador Primogen.
The aforementioned exceptionally good-looking man, almost just a touch before inhumanly handsome and beautiful, appears to stand up and says, "Thank you, Madeline. Elijah, it's good to see you as always. If any of you require my services, you can find me usually at Nirvana."
I look forward to going to Nirvana. However, as I am known as gracious, now so shall you. Kindred of New Orleans, I give you your Primogen counsel. Should your needs be fulfilled, you can go to your Primogen first. If you feel that they are not being fulfilled, by all means, please come have a chat with myself or Miss Ami over here, and we will do our best to fulfill perhaps your requests. Now, I do hope that you enjoy the rest of the evening. I heard that the drinks are most superb. There is a particular one that I fancy myself, a little garden, will you? What was that name again? I look over to Elijah.
A walk in the garden.
Oh, yes, a walk in the garden. That you should all have a taste. Until then, enjoy.
As Prince Madeline completes her speech, you hear a clapping. That was very elegant, I must say. A wonderful, wonderful speech, Your Majesty. As you notice that through the door that had been potentially locked, there have appeared two more figures. The one is a man around 5'11". He has brownish hair and he has a almost devilish smile on his face. The other is a woman who is of average height, but quite beautiful. And she has exceptionally long, dark hair and is dressed in a very form-fitting black leather evening dress, and she has a cross which is hanging around her neck. And you notice that the light is just ever so slightly duller around her. And the man continues to say, "Oh, pardon for interfering as such. I just felt that, being in Elysium where All are welcome. I might want to check in on my dear boy Nicky here. It has been so long, hasn't it, my son?
Nikolai briefly frowns and stands from his seat. Without saying a word, he slowly crosses the room. Good evening, Mr. Murphy.
Come now, so formal. That isn't how you should treat your father, is it?
You were never much of a father for me, Mr. Murphy.
I am wounded to my core to hear that. What would your dear sister think? And the woman to the left of Daniel is sort of shaking her head and gives a Nikolai, you've become very rude in your time away from us, don't you think?
Not in the least, sister. Not in the least. In fact,
You know this is Maria Elena.
in fact, I'd say that I've seen through the fog since my time with you. Stepped beyond your misguided bonds, shackling you to a fate beyond your own comprehension. And he'll look again to his sire. Your interpretations have always been wanting.
Well, I must say, I am incredibly disappointed. But in someone else's home, I will offer you all the congratulations that are due to your station. Primogen, no less. Such a wonder. Prince Madeline, I have not introduced myself entirely. I am Daniel Murphy. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is all yours.
I simply came this evening to let a wayward member of my flock know that I was in town and to invite him to a small gathering in a few days.
Sounds delightful, though it seems that your wayward person here is actually my game. So
Nikolai, would you kindly roll me a resolve and composure roll?
Indeed.
You are looking to beat 5 successes.
And for context, since I do have a couple of interesting things in play, am I potentially trying to be resistant in my bond that exists with these individuals?
Yes.
Very good. That will bring the bond resistance into play. You said I had to beat 6?
5.
5? Okay, 7. I don't need to spend any willpower then.
You could feel internally the weight of Daniel's words as he invited you to come to a gathering. But you push through it.
I'd be happy to, Mr. Murphy. I believe we have some old business to settle.
That we do. And I believe your fair city, Prince Madeline, has a bit of an infestation problem, which, should you desire any help with, you might be able to seek us out.
I'll make a note of it.
We shall take our leave for this evening.
Enjoy.
I'm certain you can show yourselves out.
And they leave. There is a tense atmosphere in the air amongst many of the kindred here.
I look at Nikolai and immediately go, Mr. Dietrich, I'd like a private word with you and Mr. Smith and Miss Ami and that other anarch running around here now. And I walk back into that like private room area.
Elijah kind of like looks at Sora and goes, I lean Anarch. I don't know why they keep lumping me in with the cam. Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Something's up. Wait, you're Anarch?
You know, I stopped caring about the Camarilla when I was in Berlin. I hope the prince there got eaten horribly. Let's go.
There's a small smile as they make their way inside.
As everybody else starts shuffling off to the back room, Nikolai will just take a moment to look at the other kindred assembled. Nothing to be concerned about, just a little bit of personal housekeeping that I will have to attend to. I would like to formally offer you all a wonderful evening here within the Eclipse, at which point he will then head into the side room.
Excellent.
Girl will give a glance to Peaches as if to say this keeps happening, and just follow along.
Peaches has been furiously wiping non-existent sweat off of his brow with his kerchief ever since Daniel entered the room.
It's orange juice.
Deja vu.
In the private meeting room.
Prince Madeline is pacing back and forth until everybody arrives.
No.
Are you all here?
Oh yeah, I believe so, right?
Oh,
Yes.
good. So, also, your other compatriots followed, am I correct? Oh, wonderful. Mr. Dietrich, I do hope that you take care of that with swiftness, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. As you're aware, my prince, unfortunately, during the current political climate, many of my kind have some housekeeping to attend to.
Duly noted. I will assume that you will take care of that. On another point of politics, I do have an alliance to uphold, and it has come to my attention from an associate, Finn Aegis, that we're in a little bit of a need to shut down a development. It is on line 3, which moves through, I believe, something somewhere around Minnesota. It's a bit of an oil pipeline situation. However, there is a caveat here, as in there shall be no other kindred influence or help in this. It is just going to be left to you all. May I be able to rely on your services?
As always.
We will not fail you, my prince.
Good, because failure is not an option.
Sure.
You two in the back.
Sure. I'm not really sure what we need to do, but okay.
I mean, kind
They
of
look
hard to
toward-
say no.
They look towards Elijah like.
Excellent. That was easier than I thought that was going to be.
Hard to deny a direct request from the prince.
Yes, well then we should talk about some sort of payment in return. Perhaps if you do a good job, I will owe each of you a minor boon.
For the work at hand, this seems more than acceptable.
Wonderful. You can have Miss Ami record what I just said here. My associate, I believe, actually, you can go ahead and contact one of my PAs, Olivia, and she'll be able to get you in contact with Mr. Aegis, and you can go about this situation. Do you have any questions for me?
What are the specifics of the assignment?
This is to maintain alliance between the Guru and us. So I believe that Mr. Aegis will have more details than I do. I was just approached with the details I just gave you. It is a pipeline situation in Minnesota. You need to stop at all costs line 3, I believe it is. And do not fail me.
Why didn't this fan just come to us? I mean, I could have just helped him out on his own. He should have just talked to me.
Perhaps he didn't know who you were.
We've come in contact with him before, or
Yeah.
well, members of our group have.
Numerous
You
times.
You would be aware, Madeline, that this is a alliance business. So this is why he came to you.
Yes, that. Yes, this is strictly an alliance situation, so it wouldn't have gone straight through you, as you may understand, or you may not, because you're an anarch. There are political pipelines that need to be followed.
Okay.
Am I correct in my understanding that we were requested by Mr. Finnegan for this?
ST?
You were privy to a lot more information than what everyone here is, but so Finn would have told you a bit more, but yes, they were specifically asked for.
I believe so. It seems that your services were quite impressive to Mr. Aegis before, so here goes another try.
I have Finn's back, so there's no worries.
I'm sorry?
I have Finn's back. They've helped me out numerous times.
Good. Then I'm glad that you'll be able to take this on. Is there any other questions?
When do we need to go?
Now.
Sakura is already making the required connections on her phone. Reaching out to the PAs as requested.
You will receive some information, and Sora, specifically on your phone, you feel a little vibrating.
Then they'll take it out.
and it is just a message which which has a little emoji of Ultron's face, and it says, "Check your email, Mr. Sora."
They'll scroll through to their email box. What? Okay.
It has more details, which I will give to all of you later.
Just to clarify, Camille stated that they were going to meet up tomorrow, right?
Yes. Now,
Mm.
I will clarify in some of these details, just so you have an understanding. It's not that you need to go there, because that wouldn't necessarily help anything. The details in the email are very much about, like, we know that this company is funding this, and there are some other people, and this pipeline moves through certain areas. It's not just a matter of going to a place and dismantling a pipeline, because that would make no sense, and just spill more oil. You've got to find a way to shut down and kill the project completely. And you can do that without leaving the state.
So, okay. So they look at through the email and says, oh, we don't need to leave. Well, that's good. Camille wanted to see me tomorrow. Okay.
Do you understand your assignments?
It is crystal clear, my prince. And
Good.
Nikolai will offer her a gloved hand.
I receive it.
And he'll simply just kiss the back of her hand, release it.
I expect a full report from both of you.
Very good. You will have it post haste.
Understood, my prince. And if you do require assistance on the Sunrise front, I do have some information that might be useful in that particular regard.
I might be seeing your garden sooner than I thought.
I've had some things in my pocket that haven't quite seen a reason to come out yet. But the displays earlier suggest that if you do need help, I may be able to assist.
Thank you.
And you are always welcome at my garden.
With that, Madeline turns on her heels and walks out.
Nikolai also exits the room, just a little ways behind the prince, and will immediately as well leave the Elysium itself and head out the side back door of the club into the alley. Is there anyone in the alley when he steps into it?
An exceptionally beautiful woman with long black hair and skin-tight leather evening dress is leaned against the back door, smoking a cigarette. It took you long enough, Nikolai.
He frowns slightly. Good evening.
Is it, Mr. Primogen?
I'm going to go ahead and make a check real quick because I think Nikolai is a little flustered at the moment.
Understandably.
Okay, yeah, he's fine. Yes, it's perfectly adequate. And distressingly and disdainfully and clichely expected.
She taps the cigarette and crushes it with a very stylish stiletto boot. I am not one of your precious Toreador Coterie mates, Nikolai. Theatrics are not in my nature to plan out. I
Could have
simply
fooled
wanted
me.
to say hello. And I do hope you'll come to our gathering. It's been so long.
Oh, I will most assuredly be there, sister.
Very
Most
good.
assuredly.
May you walk soundly in the dark father's footsteps. And she disappears into a shadow.
Nikolai grits his teeth a little bit and makes his way deeper into the alley. And he's going to head off into the city. He's actually specifically going to keep walking for a while until he is fairly certain that he has reached a location where there's no one else around. I know based on where they're stationed here that that's probably going to be a bit of a walk.
I would say that the park would be your best bet.
And he's intentionally leaning on some of the teachings that he underwent before abandoning his past. He's keeping his beast right at the surface, and then upon reaching the park, he will be riding the wave. He is going to let his beast out and let it savage some things in the park for a while. His frustration and anger is pretty high.
Excellent. As the evening of Elysium winds down, conversations are had, tempers are fueled and fulfilled. Before you depart for the evening, Sakura, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
She will try not to react, but is a little out of it, so very easily startled and likely fails.
You see the woman with the glints of orange and green in her hair and the occasional rainbow shimmer across her eyes, and she smiles at you, and she seems to be drinking a milkshake, but you have no idea where she got it from. I'm a big fan of your work, Sakura Ami.
Thank you. I don't believe we've had the honor of meeting.
My name is Clytemnestra.
Yes, the new primogen for Clan Malkavian, if I'm correct.
No, dear. No.
I
That
get that
was
mixed up?
Ellie. That was Ellie McGowan. I'm
Yes, that.
definitely not I'm not a Malkavian. I'm not even kindred. I'm just visiting from San Jose, and I couldn't help but overhear some things this evening.
What particularly are you referring to? As I'm sure there were many clandestine conversations had tonight.
There were indeed many different conversations. Yes. Particularly, I'm referring to your baby.
Continue.
Luckily, I'm not part of this city, so maybe I could do something for you if you need my help.
And what assurances do I have that you would be of assistance and not hindrance? With all due respect, we've never met.
None. Absolutely none, my dear. Absolutely none whatsoever. But I'm quite good at what I do. At the
If it
very
were
least,
any
I
other
could.
night, if it were any other night, I believe I'd like you very much.
That is understandable. Do you like milkshakes?
I do.
And she hands you a milkshake. You have no idea where she got it from.
At this point, she's just kind of resigned. And she will just drink the milkshake, even though eating random food doesn't usually go well for her.
It's lovely. It's actually cherry flavored. I thought I'd put my own little spin on it, Sakura and all.
Where did you get this? I don't believe Elijah has. Okay.
It's my little secret.
I mean, I bring things in all the time too. As long as he doesn't find out. So I'm sure he knows that I sneak the cotton candy from behind the counter. But I mean, he put it in a drink, so what was he expecting?
I mean, that is literally putting candy in front of a baby.
Right? I mean, no, that's right. That's right. It's pink.
Anyhow, I can probably help you. There are others who can probably help you too. But if you do need my help, you can give me a call. What will work? Oh, and she hands you a collar with a cat bell on it, and you have no idea where it came from.
Thank you.
Just ring that. At the very least, I'm pretty sure I could wake the kid up, although there are other ones who can. I'm reading a very interesting aura around you. Tell me, have you spoken to Satan recently?
Weirdly, yes. I'm not gonna. I'd
That's
lie
what
about
it
it.
is. That's
I'd
what it
lie about
is.
it, but you asked. You asked so
That's what it is.
directly. There's no. I can't even lie about it when you just say it like that.
Oh, and don't worry, nobody can hear us.
Honestly, I assume anybody can hear my conversations at this point.
No one can hear us. See, I'm gonna look at that one over there. You're a douchebag! And she yells quite loudly, and the person doesn't hear a damn thing.
I appreciate your offer of assistance. What would you ask in return? Of nothing.
I don't know yet, but what I'm saying is that you have options. I'm sure you know many people. You know me, you know the devil, you know plenty of people. You know, you'll figure it out. You're a smart girl. But yeah, I mean, I could probably wake him up. You could probably ask old Lucy. You know, we had a thing for a while. It was great. Where was I? Oh yes, I think it's time for me to go. Madeline's my ride.
If you don't mind me asking, what particularly do you offer? Is it simply waking him up? Or is it in Madeline's request that you offer your assistance? Because
Oh no, dear, no, not under Madeline's request. It's just under mine. Sometimes I help people. Sometimes I like to infuriate my friends, and I thought it might be fun if I play a little prank with Madeline.
I'm sure she'd appreciate that greatly.
She might. I don't know.
I don't think she'd like that very much. But I mean, I get, again, any other night, I do think I would like you very much.
Well, you know how to contact me. Just give it a old ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and I'll find you.
I do look forward to further conversations.
She gives you a little kiss in the cheek. Lovely to meet you. Yes, she's definitely getting irritated that I'm not in the car yet. Bye-bye. And she sort of waltzes out the door.
Not wise to keep her waiting.
And in the limo, Clytemnestra slides in next to Madeline. Did you have a good evening, darling?
I suppose it's just a regular evening and nothing so hot and bothered to talk about.
I suppose so, yes. Anyway, Where are we going? You said we were going to hit some clubs or something along that line. We've got a couple of hours to kill.
Of course. I mean, as you know, gentlemen always prefer blondes, so we should just head up a couple of different places.
She sort of clicks her fingers and her hair is blonde. Great idea. And as the limo pulls off into the night, I believe that is a wonderful place to pause our story. Thank you again to all of our viewers and to all of the wonderful people that are subscribing on YouTube and giving us a little bit of a like. It helps with that algorithm so much. To our viewers on Twitch, thank you so much, as always, for your wonderful follows and I'm stumbling over my words here. Your subscriptions and such, because yeah, it helps us get more amazing guests like Cynthia on. And thank you, as always, to my wonderful, wonderful cast. Be good to each other. We love you. Goodbye.
Look in the mirror, is that what you saw? You act like a diamond, you act like a star. You can't control feelings, the look of the sun will see through the eyes of a human at all. Oh, that's what I told you, that you sold yourself. Clouds are raining, scarecrows ain't scaring, the music's reflecting, nothing at all. Your lips are shaking, your skin is shedding off.